Well, CAL FIRE says illegal immigrants have started hundreds of fires along the border in the last 15 years. In response, they've set up a public awareness campaign giving fire tips to illegal border crossers. But some are calling the plan hypocritical. Elex Michaelson has the story.
Good morning to you. Some firefighters compare this program to the old condom in schools argument. Even if you don't want teens to have sex, should you give them condoms so they can do it safely? Here, the question is, even though you don't want immigrants to cross illegally, should you provide them safety tools, assuming they will cross?
As long as they're coming through this area, the threat of fire from their campfires is going to persist.
Randy Lennox says he's built fire hoses to protect him from the daily flow of illegal immigrants on his property.
It's pretty universal out here that people live in fear of fire.
CAL FIRE Battalion Chief Pete Scully says immigrants would hide under tree coverings and set campfires for warmth and cooking.
Evacuate the area.
He says the Otay fire of 2003, which burned out this Otay region, was likely started by immigrants. So was 2007's Harris fire, which killed 7 immigrants.
We suspect there's a very good likelihood it was caused by migrants.
Scully believes many immigrants didn't know how to put out fires.
A significant number came from very wet regions where there was no likelihood of a vegetation fire.
You're looking at the hills of Mexico, and less than a quarter of a mile away is a very commonly traveled path by illegal immigrants. You can see underneath this barbed wire a glove has been left behind by one of the travelers. Right nearby is this sign, "Be careful of fire," one of many signs all up and down Highway 94 and part of a much larger public relations effort.
38 agencies collaborated on ads that ran on TV, radio, and inside Mexican tourist buses.
Forestal. Han ocurrido muchos incendios.
The ads show crossers how to start and put out fires. Clay Howe of the BLM says they've worked.
We noticed quickly was an immediate reduction from 355 fires in 1996 back in the 30-40 range for the next decade.
At the border fence, Border Patrol Auxiliary Leader Carl Braun says the plan is hypocritical.
On one hand, we're saying to them it's illegal to come into the United States, don't do it. And on the other hand, we're teaching them proper campfire etiquette. It makes about as much sense to me as if the Mexican government were to spend millions of dollars in the United States running a media campaign about how bad marijuana is, but then teaching our kids in that campaign, if you are going to smoke, here's how you roll a joint.
Documentarian Laura Castaneda, whose film, The Devil's Breath, looks at immigrants burned in the Harris fire, says you can't forget the people involved.
I don't think that you can look at the faces of the women and the children and the victims and the survivors and not feel something.
Chief Scully says the investment is paying off for U.S. citizens.
The money we spend on prevention is less than pennies on the dollar if we can prevent a large fire from happening.
Still, Lennox isn't convinced.
It's pie in the sky. The real solution is to remove the illegal immigration problem through this area.
Let us know what you think about this topic. Add your comment by going to san-diego6.com and click on Hot Topics. I'm Elex Michaelson for San Diego 6 News in the Morning.